Yes.
You were scared.
Aloha from Hawaii. Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another adventure on this beautiful island of Oahu. So a couple months ago, I had the privilege of going out with Ocean Ramsey's expedition, the one ocean diving where you go out and you swim with sharks, you snorkel, dive with sharks, no cage, right? Alex is my little adventurer, and she saw that video that I made and she was just totally inspired. She was begging me to go out and do this. As a special treat, I took her out to go cage shark diving, and I'm really happy that I did. Are you excited?
Uh-huh.
Morning guys, how's it feeling today?
The craziest thing about this whole experience was they don't chum the water. They don't do anything to attract the sharks to you, okay? They don't have to.
Did you see that, Alex? We're gonna get in there soon.
He was massive. There he is. They were massive.
The scariest part about the whole thing was when they're swimming underneath you. That was just so...
Wait, you were scared when they were swimming underneath us? What? took me.
When we finally got out of the water, a lot of the excitement started to kind of fade away. The ocean was so, it was even rockier than when I went out with One Ocean Diving back in February. Just demolished Alex and I. Alex was so seasick. I felt so bad for my little 7-year-old. I mean, she wasn't the only one. There was a couple different passengers that were literally just running for the side rails. But I think that kind of diminished her experience a little bit. So, tip number 1, if you're taking little kids, just be ready or go when the ocean is literally at its calmest.
I got seasick.
I've now gone on this cage one, and I did the no cage dive shark experience, both on the North Shore of Oahu. And, you know, I have to say, if you were to do one or the other, it's almost like apples and oranges. They're different enough that I'm not sure I can completely say one is better than the other. But I will go over some of the differences, right? So one, like the cage experience, was a lot more affordable in my opinion. They offered discounts for locals as well as military, so that made it a lot more affordable. Haley could have gone on this, but I chose not to. I didn't think it was appropriate enough for Haley. You didn't need to know how to swim because you were in a cage, you were technically holding on. It felt a little more touristy than the One Ocean Diving experience, where the One Ocean Diving experience, they spent a lot more time teaching you about the sharks and their research that they do. There was none of that with the cage experience. So there is that. But again, like, it was a lot cheaper. You know, the One Ocean Diving, because there's no cage, it really felt like a true adventure. At least for me as an adult. That being said, Alex, you know, this was Alex's probably first true adventure, really going out there and experiencing a little bit of the wild. Even though we were in a cage, for her, it was perfect. But for me, the One Ocean Diving experience without the cage, that's where I felt the adventure. That's where I felt a little bit of that fear, a little bit of that intimidation. We're going and going to do something that is going to push me outside of my comfort zones. I don't know if you guys are into that kind of thing. I sort of am. And so is Alex, I guess. So that cage experience for her was perfect. Alex was also the youngest one there by a landslide. I mean, second to Alex, I think the second youngest was 25 years old, maybe even 30. There was definitely no other kids there. I'm sure they've had kids before. If you're thinking of doing this, like, I do recommend this experience. I would say, you know, it's a controlled environment. There are going to be some dangers. Like, we were getting pushed around really hard in that cage. You know, the boat, it was because of the swell and the type of season. So just know that going into it, like, it was difficult holding on. We were either getting thrown into some of our fellow adventurers in the cage, or we were getting bashed into the cage itself. And that was just because of the weather. Like, so one of the other big things between them, like, maybe it's just the day, but when I did the One Ocean Diving, the sharks did not get that close. You know, they were there, they were fairly close, and in the moment it felt pretty darn close. But when I was in the cage, you could literally stick your hand outside that cage and touch them if you wanted to. So that was like, bam, right there. They were massive. And Alex did get scared. You know, those first 3 seconds we got in there, you know, she was like, holy. So she's trying to get her bearings. I'm trying to, like, hey, you have to hold on. You cannot let go of this thing and just try to swim around, because when you're trying to swim around, if you're not holding onto that bar, you are getting thrown around. So I'm like, hold on to this bar. She's like, oh my God. You know, the first 3 seconds, she's like, kept trying to, like, hold on to me and like, oh my God. After those first 3 seconds, like, I think kind of like relaxed and settled. Then she was like, hey, this is, you know, not so bad. Like, she's waving to the sharks. She's like, hey, like, pretty good. So if you were going to do this with, you know, your son or daughter, I would say, like, just make sure your kid is ready for that part of it. Like it definitely was pretty intimidating at first until she realized like we are safe, it's okay.
I never get seasick.
Well, this is your first time out in the sea, isn't it? On a boat? Have we gone out on a boat before?
Yes.
What boat?
On Disneyland.
Okay, that's not quite the same love. I'm really happy I did the caged version for Alex. And I'm also really happy that I did not take Haley on this adventure. She did ask to go, but Haley, my little 5-year-old princess, she gets scared snorkeling with turtles. And to me, if you're afraid of turtles, you probably shouldn't go swim with sharks. Don't worry, I did take her on her own little adventure. We went horseback riding. If you haven't checked out that video, it's right here. And I do recommend that. She had a blast doing that. And I will take Alex horseback riding at some point. But that was for Haley, as this was for Alex.
Mahalo!
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do give me a thumbs up if you do. Mahalo for watching. And we'll see you on the next adventure. Have a good night.